Hello and welcome to day 5. You made it for your 5th day of your summer challenge. If we haven't met before, my name is Emma. I am a blind Pilates instructor, so I do have my guide dog at the side, sleeping away, but he might potter in and out of the video. It does mean that all of my videos I try my hardest to describe in as much detail as possible so that my fellow blind and visually impaired people can follow along as well. But when you're ready, this is a gorgeous stretch video to unwind, a little bit of breath work. So come and join me for day 5, your final day. So sit back wherever you feel comfortable. Maybe back on your heels like me, or maybe in a seated position, laying on your back, whatever you want to do. And we maybe place one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest, or just one or the other. And just take a moment to take a deep breath in as you lengthen through the spine. And as you breathe out, close down your eyes, let the shoulders relax away from your ears. And just settle onto the mat. And we take that deep breath in through the nose. And we breathe out through the mouth. Just allowing ourselves to settle down on the mat. Maybe with the eyes closed, we'll start to notice the temperature of the room, how it's feeling. Maybe we also notice how the rest of the body is feeling. Maybe we notice the sounds around us. I've got quite a lot of children, schools and things going on, so you might hear some singing and kids playing in the background and the birds. But yeah, just be a little bit more present on your mat. Good. And then when you're ready, however you're sitting, I'm going to bring myself, should I? No, I'm fine here. Take your left hand and sit onto your left hand. So it kind of pulls your shoulder away from your ear. And then take the right hand, let me mirror you. So I'm doing my left, but you're doing your right. And draw your right ear down to your right shoulder. Taking that right hand around the side of the head to help gently draw the neck down so the ear draws down to the side. And you should feel a lovely stretch down the side of your neck. We're not pulling on the head, we're just letting the weight of the hand bring us down. And then turn your head in towards your armpit. Take the hand around the back of the head and nod your chin down towards your chest, your armpit, and feel that wrapping going around the neck. And let's do the same on the other side. So sit onto the other hand, take the left hand onto the side of the head and draw the ear down to the shoulder. And just notice maybe whether there's one side that's feeling tighter than the other. As you hold and breathe. Turn the head in, hand behind the back of the head. Nod the head down towards the armpit and feel that wrapping going around the neck. And then let's come up and sit nice and tall. When you're ready, swing yourself around, bring yourself down onto your back. And let's hug the knees into our chest. Let the head feel heavy, let the shoulders feel heavy, and simply have a little rock from side to side, back and forth, giving your back this lovely little massage. Then maybe we circle the legs away from one another towards one another, like butterfly wings, opening and closing, with the knees still bent. Maybe one way, back the other way, getting out any clicks, any tightness through the pelvis. And as you do that, just rock your lower back in towards the mat as you hug your knees in. And as they circle away, let your back arch just a little bit. And then hug your knees towards your chest. Take the hands behind the back of the legs.
And send your legs up towards the ceiling, squeezing your legs together, feeling the hamstrings. And then bend the knees, fold them back in. And then go again. Stretch the legs up to the ceiling, feel that stretch down the back of the legs. Hug back in. Let's add a little bit more to it. We're going to straighten the legs up towards the ceiling. Open the legs out to the side. Feel the inner leg stretching. Draw the thighs, the inner thighs back together. And then bend the knees back into your chest. Go again. We straighten the legs up to the ceiling. Open the legs out to the side. Draw the legs back together. Bend the knees. Then we'll do the reverse. So keep the knees bent as you open the legs out to the side, still with the knees bent. We then keep the legs to the side as we unfold the bottom part of the leg out. Feel the inner legs. Draw the legs together up to the ceiling. Legs are straight. And then bend the knees back in. And just do that a couple of times. Breathing wide and full into your rib cage. Enjoying a lovely little stretch. Hug back in. Good, send the feet down towards the floor. Let the knees knock together and let the feet open. Stretch your arms out to the side like an aeroplane. The back of the hands are on the mat, the back of the head. The arms are up at shoulder height. Just take a moment to really feel those arms pulling to each end of the room, stretching across the chest, the arms. And then squeeze the legs together. Keep the feet on the floor at the moment, knees are bent. And then let the knees fall to the side. And let your head turn the opposite way. So the legs have zigzagged to the side, the upper body stays where it is, the head will turn. And to deepen this stretch, you can always hook your top leg over the bottom leg to deepen it. Getting a little bit more stretch around that hip. And then slowly come up. Keep the legs crossed over if they're crossed over. Hug your knees into your chest, either with them just hugged in normally or with one leg still crossed over the other. Wrap your hands around the legs and just give them a little squeeze in. And then place the legs down to the floor, untuck the legs. Let the legs zigzag to the other side, arms are back out to the side. Let the head turn the opposite way. And maybe hook that top leg over the bottom leg, deepening that stretch. Through the waist, the shoulder, the arm, the top of the leg. Keep the legs crossed over or just hug them back to center. Hug them into your chest, just normally hugging the knees or one leg crossed over the other. Give them a little squeeze. And then unfold through the legs. Drop the legs and the arms all the way down to the floor. And come into a lovely full body stretch, reaching from your fingertips all the way down to your toes. Oh, okay, now I'm okay. I was thinking I was completely off of the mat. Blind problems. Give your wrists, give your ankles a little rotate one way, back the other. And then take your time to slowly roll over onto your front, onto your hands and knees. Let me adjust the microphone and my top. If this is uncomfortable, you can always do a half standing cat stretch where you're in this kind of squat almost, hands resting just above the knees. Otherwise, bring the hands directly underneath the shoulders, shoulder width apart. Your hands can be in a fist if that's easier on the wrists as well. And the knees are bent underneath the hips, hip distance apart, with the shins and the feet, the top of the foot down on the floor. And we're going to round the spine up, tucking the head and the tailbone under, creating this lovely big cat stretch. And then we go the opposite way. We think about lifting the tailbone and the chest, trying not to sink into the back, and rather thinking about length through the spine. And we'll round up and go the opposite way. So you can stay with this. Otherwise, I'm going to add a bit more, and I will swivel to the side so you can see me. So try your cat stretch. Let me shuffle over with your left leg extended out to the side, foot is planted into the floor. And try that cat stretch again. So with that leg extended out, especially when you come into the extension, you're going to feel this lovely stretch going through the inner leg as you lift your tailbone up. Nice. And then you can always switch. Well, I do want you to switch. You're matched up. You're going to switch to the other side. Let me move back. The other leg is extended out to the side, foot planted into the floor. The other knee is underneath your hip. Hands are still underneath your shoulders, or maybe you're just doing your normal cat stretch, that's okay. And we're rounding up and then scooping back the other way, finding this lovely stretch through the inner leg and the hips. Good. And then draw the leg in. You can sit back towards your heels. Bring your toes together, open your knees. Stretch your arms out as long as they can possibly go. Take your right arm, loop it underneath your left. I'm not going to loop under too much because of the microphone, but see if you can listen to the floor with your ear and come into this little thread the needle where you're twisting the upper body, looping the arm underneath the other arm. You can always do this seated, back on your heels or on your back, crossing your arms straight across your heart and using the other arm to pull it in towards you more. And then do the same to the other side. You can loop the other arm under, listen to the floor with the other ear as you sit back. Just get that little stretch around the shoulder, through the waist. And then we're going to come back up. And again, if you need to tweak this, if you need to go back to a different exercise, hug your knees to the chest on your back, you can. Otherwise, I just want to finish with one that we did throughout the series, but just the stretch version of it. So bring your legs together, but you're going to swivel them to the diagonal. So your knees are bent, and you're trying to swivel the legs to the diagonal as you sit the rest of your body back in the center. So you're trying to push your hips back in the middle and stretch your arms long in front, bringing your head down to the floor. As your knees are bent, you're sitting back towards your heels with the legs on the diagonal. Feel this stretch running up the side of the waist, through the back, and then do the same to the other side, so swivel the legs. So we did like a variation of this throughout the week. Swivel the legs to the diagonal, and again, if this is not working, you can always do the center child's pose, where you're not swiveling the legs to the diagonal. But otherwise, legs on the diagonal, upper body is trying to sit back in the center, head comes to the floor, arms stretched long in front. And then finally, sit back with your feet together, open the knees to the width of the mat, push your hips back and rest here. Let's walk the hands in so the head can rest down into the hands. Maybe especially if there's any tension pain or any kind of sinus problems from hay fever, it can be really nice to press one of your pads of the thumbs in between the eyebrows just above the nose, and there's a nice little pressure point there. You can tap your elbows onto the knees, creating a diamond, or maybe you're on your back, maybe you're on your side. But just find a little position to relax into, where your head, your shoulders, your hips can melt down. Finding this lovely, almost stillness through the mind, the body. Where maybe you just tune in a little more to the sounds, how your body's feeling. Concentrating a little bit more on the breathing. Try to breathe out for a little bit longer than the inhale. So you're really calming down the nervous system. Doing that a couple more times in your own time.
Leaving any stress or tension behind. And maybe you want to stay on the mat for a little longer, do some more breathing, or leave some on screen and down below. Or maybe you'll sit up nice and tall. Come back to face towards the front. Sweep your arms all the way up to the ceiling. Grow nice and tall. Hello, plant again. Let the arms drop as you breathe out. And you are done. That is your stretch. Or maybe if you've been following me for the 5-day summer challenge, you are done. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do give this video a like, a thumbs up, whatever and click the subscribe button if you did enjoy it. But yeah, you're done for the 5 days. If you want to see any more challenges, let me know down below. But other than that, have an amazing rest of your week, and I will see you next time for another one. Take care. Bye.